He's having a lot of fun talking about trash out there. Let's talk about the weather forecast. Anything but trash. Typically this time of year, it's hot and it's muggy. Well, it's muggy. Thankfully, it's not been too hot yet. Things are about to really change in a big way for us. First, what's happening out there right now, spotty to scattered showers, very hit or miss in nature. Now, if you're getting hit by one of these things, you know it's some pretty heavy rain at times. Got a couple of showers. They're going to move just to the west of Ozark, getting ready to cross the river there. We've had a couple cross the river in Johnson County coming out of Logan. Very spotty in nature. Expect this type of activity probably through around sunset this evening. A heavy shower, not moving much at all north of Huntsville, pretty much north of 412, Withrow Springs State Park. Clifty getting a good drink of water. Move through Hinesville, producing a good downpour there as well. The big story is what's going to be moving in probably overnight tonight. You can see the spin coming out of the Dallas area. This compact area of low pressure is probably going to be moving into our neck of the woods later this evening into the overnight hours. And as it does track northeast, it's encountering a lot of humidity, a lot of moisture from here to the top levels of the atmosphere. And that's a recipe for some additional rain. To make matters even more complex is this thing's not moving very fast, and that is a recipe for some additional flooding. Most of the 5 News viewing area under a flood watch until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The thing is, most people probably don't see rain tonight, but because confidence in the exact storm track is somewhat low, the Weather Service has placed all of us under that flood watch just to make sure we're all ready for it. Here's how Futurecast sees the next few hours going down. 8:30 tonight, that sun is setting, fizzling out in terms of precipitation coverage, but then we start to watch this activity, which doesn't look like much, moving in from the southwest, I should say. But because there's so much moisture in the air, and at times it's going to be moving relatively slowly, these little downpours probably going to produce a very narrow area of 1 to 3 inches of rain. That, in a real short amount of time, is going to produce some localized flooding. Look, again, I think a lot of us are probably dry tonight into tomorrow morning. This is around 6:30. If you're an early riser, you might need that rain gear. You might be ready for some ponding on the roadways. I think by 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, a lot of that pushing out of the area. Beyond tomorrow, the big story is the heat that is getting ready to build in really quickly. This is a good old-fashioned summertime heat dome that's going to be situated right on top of us by Saturday. Likely a pretty hot weekend. Very different than the one we just enjoyed temperature-wise. I know it was wet for many of us. The jet stream's way up in Canada, so this isn't going to budge much at all anytime soon. In fact, it only grows, it only intensifies, keeping the heat in place most of next week. Heat and humidity as well. Some of the mid-range data suggests Arkansas, Oklahoma, pretty much in the bullseye for above average chances of above average temperatures, likely the 20th through the 24th. So that heat not only builds in, it's going to be here to stay. It's 88 degrees right now in Fort Smith. Feels like it's 95 given how much humidity is out there. 83 is the temperature in Rogers. Feels like temperature currently 88 degrees. Your 7-day forecast shakes out like this. Down to 69 overnight tonight. Tomorrow, once we get those early morning showers out of the area, chance of rain will only be about 20%. A few afternoon pop-ups again Wednesday and Thursday. By and large, a lot of us drying out, but as we dry out, that ridge of high pressure building in, there comes the heat. Overnight lows only in the 70s, afternoon highs in the low to mid 90s area wide. A slow, steady increase well into the early part of next week. And as we saw in that medium range data, we're probably not going to expect any meaningful relief anytime soon. So as for now, this heat wave looks to really start in earnest Thursday and Friday with really no signs of letting up, at least in the short-term forecast. We'll take another look at your 10-day coming up tonight then, but I'll just tell you, don't get your hopes up for a big cool down because it looks like it's going to be hot for the next several days.
A complete 180 from this past weekend.
Yeah, but honestly, we've kind of been blessed with some cooler temperatures. It's been a really wet summer, which for some folks is good, other folks problematic. But I think true summer, what we're used to around these parts, really hot, really dry, fitting to hit.
So get used to it is the takeaway.
Buckle up. Get those box fans a running.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. All right, Scott, thanks.